Well, I am Scott Johannes. I oversee the missions here, and I'm sitting here with Angela today, and just really excited to hear more about her Mongolian trip. And I want us to start off. How did you get to go to Mongolia?
Okay, so at my college, there was a recruiter person. I probably shouldn't say the organization's name because they work in countries where you're not allowed to talk about the gospel. So, yeah. But a recruiter with that organization came and talking about a program where you go to Asian countries and teach English and share the gospel. And I was really excited, and I signed up to go to China. And my team from my college and I were going to go to China and teach English and share the gospel. It was going to be great. And then about a month and a half before we had to leave, the organization contacted us and they were like, okay, so we can't take you to China because China is denying visas, but we need more people in Mongolia. Will you all switch to Mongolia? And we did, which was crazy and exciting. And finding out later, like, how much our team got to be an answer to prayer of like how much they needed someone in Mongolia for the program to even happen there was really cool. But
Well, because I think a conversation I had with your mom, they were looking at closing the program for Mongolia,
Yeah.
right? About
Yeah.
the time you guys.
like they would have had to cancel it with schools, but then because we had exactly the right amount of teachers answering that yes, we would come, and exactly the right amount of time, we could still go, which was crazy and awesome.
It's really cool that you can see how God was working before you even got there.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, what you were there to teach English. So, what was the curriculum? Was it you developed it your own? What were you able to use and say and those kind of things?
The organization gave us a curriculum, so really thick teacher's book and a little student book to use with our students. I taught 2 different times. I taught 2 weeks with one group of students and 2 weeks with another group. And my first group of students, I used the curriculum that they gave us and pretty much like read the book, and it says do this activity and do this thing, and I would do that, which is fantastic. The second week I taught, and I had a very low level students, like low level in English students, and I could not use the curriculum with them at all because their English was not good enough to understand it. So I pretty much came up with my own and worked with other teammates to come up with our own curriculum for them of what they needed to learn. So that was crazy, but some provided, some we made.
Oh, cool. So, did they sign up to come to learn more English? I mean, was it to develop their English?
Okay, we were at a camp, and it was a camp that was both for English learning and for like a military thing. So half of the day they would learn English with us, and half of the day they would do like marching and stuff with these Mongolian military counselors. I think their parents signed them up for it so they could learn more English, but I don't know a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, since that wasn't your role was to sign them up.
I just had to come teach.
Yes.
I didn't have to sign them up, which is
Kids
great.
are going to show up, and I'm going to share.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What was your living conditions like in Mongolia?
Most of the time, like while we were at camp, I lived in a little triangle house. It was like a 9 by 9 foot square room that I shared with 2 other people. So really small, not comfortable beds. It was like a wood frame and then like an inch of padding that we slept on, which we got used to. Before we went, we had heard that we were going to live in tents, these gers that are just a big circle tent, but then that wasn't true. We were in a little cabin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all that primitive, but
No.
How did that compare to maybe the living conditions of the students? Did you get to see where they live?
I didn't see where they live at camp at all. I think it was probably similar, like bed-wise. They lived in cabins that were co-ed, so I was like, okay, camp has co-ed cabins here, but yeah, probably similar.
Would you go back?
Yeah, I would go back. Some of my students would ask me that, and they'd be like, teacher, are you coming back next year? And I would love to tell them yes, but I know that I probably can't go back next summer because I'll have to work or something, but I would love to go back and like see them again or have new students. It was really, really good.
It's kind of evident how God used you, but at the same time, one thing I want to ask a little bit of, how did God work in your life, or how did He change you? Those kind of things.
Yeah. One thing I was expecting going on the trip was to see some direction from God, like about my life. Right now, I am majoring in Christian ministry and TESOL, so teaching English to speakers of other language. And I was in Mongolia teaching English to people. And I really wanted to see, like, is this something I could do for the rest of my life? Like going to other countries and teaching English and sharing Jesus. And I loved it. So one thing that God did was like showing me that, yeah, this is something that I could do for the rest of my life. Yeah, being with whatever country. Like, I love Mongolia and Asia, but whatever country he would say, I would love to be there. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing, and just thank you for your willingness to follow God and then open yourself up to where He's going. Because I know thinking back on where you've been in a year is really is not where you thought you'd be.
No,
So
not at all.
Thanks for coming and sharing with us, Angela.
Yeah, thank you.